Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Alison Manzel. I am the director of AYA Medieval Music. There's my name. Hi. I um I love performing medieval music. I love singing medieval music. It's one of my favorite things. But something I love almost as much as actually performing this music is sharing this music. So it's really, really fun for me to come and offer a few words, really, as I like to think of it, taking a deep dive into a piece, a song, especially at this time of year. We're looking ahead to a very important feast day. The feast day is of Saint Ursula, and that's October 21st. And the feast day is really a celebration, a day of remembrance of a remarkable person. And this season, I'm really looking at uh, figures, women who did remarkable things, and being able to look at their stories in a fresh way. So I wanted to offer a little bit of a background and some really fascinating facts about Saint Ursula and a piece that was written by Hildegard of Bingen, the great medieval mystic and visionary, whose work Aya really centers upon this season and last season, and really has been a huge part of my work. So the piece that I wanted to look at today is called O rubor sanguinis, O redness of blood, and it's an antiphon dedicated to Saint Ursula. So let me give you a quick background about this woman from the 4th century. This is an old story. And here we have, I'm going to give you the title of the piece. Here we have a woman, a young lady, who was of a noble family, and her father, who was a king, set up a marriage for her to a pagan, someone that would be creating some kind of advantageous match. Well, Ursula was deeply devoted to God and could not marry a pagan man. And she told her father, she tried to put off her father, and she said, I need to go on a pilgrimage to satisfy my heart's desire, and I will consider this. And off she went on the pilgrimage. Now, there's several different tellings of her story, but it's really important to know because it links back up with Hildegard in our musical selection today, that as the legend goes, she went on her pilgrimage to Rome, and on her way back through the city of Cologne, she throughout this sort of pilgrimage, she attracted all of these women, as the records say, 11,000 virgins. And that's highly disputed. And it seems like it could be just misinformation or a misinterpretation of something that was written down. However, on their way back from Cologne, she meets none other than Attila the Hun. And he presents her with an offer: marry him or lose your life. And being a devout daughter of God, and already wedded to Christ, she refuses to marry him, and she and her entire cohort are murdered there. So fast forward to the 12th century. The story of Ursula is sort of localized to this area in the western part of Germany, modern day Germany. And it's around the middle of that century, a vast graveyard of bones are found. And it's sort of a large Roman burial site. And the bones are purported to be those of the virgins, Ursula and the virgins. And I can only imagine what kind of fervor that must have caused. Well, there's a great basilica currently in Cologne dedicated to Saint Ursula, and I can't wait to share this image with you. So it's a Romanesque basilica. However, it's on the site of where the bones were found. And in the modern day basilica, I'll show you this incredible site. You have the golden chapel here. And what you may see, I'll zoom in. Here we go. At the very top, above the altarpieces, you see bones. The bones of the martyred virgins in this elegant, creepy a piece of art where you see letters and designs. It's absolutely macabre, but it is absolutely phenomenal. So here we have this incredibly rich legend of Saint Ursula. Now, more than just a big finding of bones, the story of Ursula was really highly influential. It was highly impactful for Hildegard. As the leader of a sisterhood, of a convent, of a family, who she was always trying to uphold ideals, virtues, being the standard bearer of behavior and righteousness, as it were, for her community. Now, who better to represent that than Saint Ursula, who, along with all of the women in her cohort, modeled this virtue of chastity. As we think of this, chastity is virginity. Chastity is so much more than just virginity, and I think it's hard for us to grapple with this in our contemporary society. But I wanted to offer this to you today, that when we consider Ursula, and we consider her, the sacrifice of her life, we're also looking at an example of a woman who stood up to the demands of her father, asserted her desire to go on a pilgrimage, and in the face of imminent death, still asserted her sovereign personal authority. Yes, she was a virgin. But more important, that this label of virgin, that the ethos of virginity, of being untouched, to me really means standing in your own authority and honoring yourself. And I think that is a very beautiful example indeed. In the piece that we're going to be speaking of today, I want to show you the text here. We have a very brief antiphon. And the text, O rubor sanguinis, quid excelso illo fluxisti, quod divinitas tetigit, tu flos es, quem hyems de flatu serpentis, numquam lesit. And I'll read you the English translation. O redness of blood, you flowed from that lofty height that divinity touched. You are the flower that the winter of the serpent's breath has never harmed. The very first and perhaps most prominent image that we see is the redness of the blood. Of course, we think of the martyrdom of the bodies and the massacre, and what a terrible, terrible, gruesome thing that might be. But here I also see the layering of a woman's menses, of the sort of essence of femininity. And here we have, you flowed from that lofty height that divinity touched. We think about an upper realm, a realm where she is aloft at a higher level with the saints, with the sacred family, the divine family. And then Hildegard goes on to say, you are the flower that the winter of the serpent's breath has never harmed. And here the winter, the icing, the pulling away the death of the serpent's breath. And here I think it's easy to interpret the serpent as the devil. And not only the devil, But we can also see the serpent's breath here as the serpent in the Garden of Eden. And as that serpent tempted Eve, we see Ursula and really all virgins in Hildegard's eyes as identifying with the redemption of women through the Virgin Mary, through her virginity, as opposed to Eve and her temptation. But having, being a virgin, having never suffered the pangs of childbirth, as we know is one of the punishments for Eve's sin. I have ironic quotes around the word punishment in my head, by the way. So we have really the antithesis in Ursula's virginity and in her essence of remaining true to herself, of someone who really holds their own worthiness as a woman and in herself and in her marriage to Christ and her own connection to divinity. It's a very powerful thing to be tucked into a very neat, tidy little antiphon. I have it here on a piece of paper. This is a transcription that I made from one of the two manuscripts of Hildegard's music. And it's really my privilege to sing this for you today. I wanted to invite you to join me for an upcoming event. It's an online course called Singing Hildegard. And if you are also enraptured with this great lady and her music, and you are someone who would love to learn more, not only about the music, but really learn how to sing this or perform this or play this for yourself, and accessing this music in its most original form from her 12th century notation and the source manuscripts that it's drawn from, I invite you to join me for a digital course. It's beginning in November 2021. And I invite you to go to the AO website, and I'll put that up on the screen here, amedievalmusic.org. And there you can get on our waitlist for this awesome digital course. I can't wait. It will be so interesting. It will be really quite a journey, and you're cordially invited. And I warmly and enthusiastically invite you to check that out, or at least get more information. You're under no obligation. But here we go. I'd like to offer you this song. I'm looking at your comment, Erica, the picture of the chapel. I know, it does have to be seen to believed. Amazing. So here, my friends, thank you for joining me today on this Tuesday. Here is, along with a drone from the Symphonia here, O rubor sanguinis, O redness of blood. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so grateful for your time. I hope you will keep in touch. Please subscribe on YouTube or like us on Facebook or head over to Instagram and follow us there. All the things. If you want to keep abreast, though, on our online course, definitely go check out the website. And I will gladly get you connected. Okay, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Thank you again for joining me. Bye.